Good morning, everyone. My paper is on screen time and outdoor activities, unraveling their impact on childhood myopia. No financial interest. As we are all aware that myopia is emerging as a public health issue. Public health issue is one that can affect the health of the population, which can either be newly appearing or has been there for some time, but is now rapidly increasing in incidence. So, Brainhold and Vision Institute has estimated in 2010 1.9 billion of the global population were myopic, out of which 70 million were high myopic. And these numbers are projected to rise to 50%, that is about 5 billion, and 1 billion, that is 10%, respectively, by 2050. So, that means by 2050, one person out of two will be a myope, and one person out of 10 will be a high myope. So, this is the time to act. In India, the second most populated country in the world, with 41% of our population being less than 18 years, and there are not many studies from India in this regard. And this particular publication by Agarwal et al., here we have a forest plot. Here from 1980s to early 2000s, the prevalence is less than 8%, but the many publications came in the last decade. The prevalence is almost touching 30%. So as we know, myopia is a multifactorial disease. There is an interplay of factors like genetic, environmental, and microenvironmental factors which contributes to myopia. So in the recent times, because after the COVID pandemic, we knew that environmental factors play an important role in the onset as well as progression of myopia. So with keeping this in mind, we formed our research question: is there actually an association between environmental factors with myopia? So our objective was to find the association between screen time and outdoor time with myopia. This is a cross-sectional study, observational study, done in 51 eyes of children with myopia more than 0.5 diopter from 1st April to 31st May in a secondary eye care center in North Kerala. So we looked into the history, determination of screen time. Parents were asked about the total time spent on television as well as mobile in hours. Determination of the outdoor activity, the number of hours the child is playing outside home was taken as outdoor activity. Age appropriate vision testing, squint evaluation, anterior and posterior segment evaluation, and a cycloplegic refraction were carried out. The mean relative spherical equivalent was calculated as the sphere plus half of the cylinder. Coming to my results, the total screen time was 3 plus or minus 1.5 hours, and outdoor time was 2.76 plus or minus 1.579. So this scatter plot shows there is an association between total screen time and outdoor activities in hour, as most of the dots are coming to the towards the line. And the Pearson's correlation, when we calculated, the screen time had a more association with myopia with a p less than 0.01, sorry, and the outdoor activity with myopia p less than 0.5. Coming to discussion, exposure to natural light and distant objects when outdoors may help in preventing or delaying the onset of myopia. We don't know whether it is the outdoors high light intensity, spectral makeup, and light wavelengths which may boost up the retinal dopamine release and or circulating vitamin D levels, which prevents the eye from elongation. And highly significant positive correlation between myopia and screen time could be attributed to increased near work and reduced outdoor time associated with the screen-based activities. Studying the underlying mechanism behind the link between screen time and myopia, which has not yielded a single distinct process. And as we know, COVID-19 pandemic has changed the lifestyles of not only children but also the adults. Online classes during the lockdown not only led to increased screen time but increased near activity and less outdoor time. Even though the classes are shifted to offline, the lifestyle continued, and there is a surge in myopia and onset as well as progression in the last 3 years. Limitations of my study: it is important to consider what children are doing on screens. With educational content may have a different effect compared to a recreational or social media use. The study may establish a correlation, but it might not improve a causation. So myopia could vary depending on the geographic area as well, and climatic factors also, so that this study has not included. So I would like to say the need of a multifaceted approach to address the childhood myopia by promoting outdoor activities and moderating the screen time. And this is essential for parents and healthcare professionals to consider these factors when addressing myopia, preventing, and management in children. So what was known is, previous studies have shown that faster childhood myopia progression in younger age at myopia onset independent of other risk factors. And increased screen time and less outdoor time activities were found to have a major impact on myopia onset as well as progression. What my study adds, our results suggest that there is a strong association between these two factors, and it has a valuable reference regarding early life screen use and outdoor activity and their potential associations with myopia, like a state like Kerala, where children go to school very early at 2 years of age, which might interest the clinicians and these researchers alike. So in future, longitudinal studies with a larger sample size to look for other risk factors and correlation between parameters like axial length and biomechanics also would be needed, and so that we can modulate and customize the treatment for each and every patient. Thank you. Yeah, everywhere it is.
What was the actual coefficient of correlation for the two parameters? Because you just put the p-value, you didn't actually give us the value.
Screen time, I think it was minus zero point zero 0.04, and the other one was point 0.5, I think, sir. I'm not very sure.
0.5.
Yeah.
See, minus 0.04 is a very small amount. And if you look at the R square, the coefficient of determination will be even less than that.
Okay.
So then that accounts for hardly, I mean, maybe 15% of not less, 0.15% of the contribution towards myopia.
Okay.
The problem is, since you've done a cross-sectional study, you're just looking at the amount of myopia at that time. It's not looking at the rate of progression. And when you present the correlation, it's always better to give the value rather than the p-value, because that tells you the quantum of the effect. Okay. And as long as the p-value is less than 0.05, the rest doesn't matter.
Okay, thank you, sir. No, we didn't do that because getting vitamin D in a child will be very difficult. Yeah, yeah, I agree, sir. So in future, we would like to do, actually this sample size is only 51, so we may have to do a more larger sample size with more follow up and also progression as well. This is just a cross sectional study.
The problem with vitamin D is I don't think anybody knows the normative levels in children, and definitely the normative levels in India are not what it is in the West.
Okay. Per day means average, total with average. No, we have just asked the parents about the total screen time in a day, and if the some parents were telling they means in the during the day school days there will be only 1 hour, but during weekends they, yeah. So mean we have taken. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. 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 Okay. 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 Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, sir. Should I start? So I'm presenting a downtrend of ROP incidence in India. It's a unique neonatologist-based survey. ROP is a vasoproliferative disorder of retina seen in premature infants and is leading cause of preventable childhood blindness throughout the world. From our database of ROP screening at Girdhara Institute, we have observed significant decrease in incidence of both total ROP and treatable ROP from 2015 till date. Incidence of treatable ROP has decreased from 10% to 4% from 2015 till now in our database. There are many ophthalmologist-based online surveys for ROP screening and treatment, but to the best